momentary, hold up, but now it is live on both Facebook and YouTube. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Storytime. As you know, today is Saturday, the weekend, meaning it's time for Storytime Weekend Edition, which means fairy tales, which right now means Russian fairy tales, plus an original story of my own just for you. Now, this week, I will be reading so, if you remember last week's story, or was it the week before? Yes, A Cool Spot in Hell. I read that last weekend, and it was a good bit of fun. So, about that story, though, I actually wrote 3 different versions of it. The first was the original, the second was a rewrite from the perspective of the devil, and the third was a rewrite of the perspective from both of them, the man and the devil. Hellishly good fun. See what I did there? Anyway, it's a great fun. I enjoy it very much. I'm trying to figure out what I should do with my microphone because it's a little bit in the way, but not really. Sort of. I don't know. I'll figure it out one of these days. Regardless, it's here, and so am I, and we're ready for some stories. Before we get started, I will share my drink of the evening. That's water in that cup, and in this cup is a different sort of water of the more alcoholic variety. This here is moonshine, which traditionally would be a little less than legal. However, the government has has encouraged us to make our own hand sanitizer, and that's exactly what this is. It's a fantastic hand sanitizer, and the way I look at it, if you get something bad in you, ingesting the hand sanitizer is a great way of killing everything, including your hopes and dreams and happiness and all that. I guess I should have another sip. It's good, though. It sure is good. It's a lot I poured myself, though. Oh, well, I'll enjoy it. Yes, I will. Anyway, that's what I'm drinking for the evening. I've got moonshine, real white lightning, and it's homemade. I didn't make like vast quantities, but enough for me. So that's what I'm enjoying tonight. In addition, I'll enjoy some water as well. Yes, yum shay, hand sanitizer. But it looks like I've got a couple of people following on YouTube. And now it looks like, well, I don't know how many people I have following on Facebook. I don't see any likes or comments or anything like that. But I'm sure they will start coming in. If you're watching, make sure you leave a comment so that I know. That way I can give you a shout out, stuff like that. If you don't want a shout out, then just put a thumbs comment. I won't comment. I won't shout out thumbs ups unless you want me to, in which case, say, give me 2 thumbs up. If you want to comment, leave 2 thumbs up. If you don't, just leave 1. Or, if you also want a shout out, leave a different sort of comment. Like the video, follow me on YouTube, join the Storytime Facebook group, and enjoy some stories happening 10 o'clock every night of the week or weekend, every night. So, I do have an earlier morning tomorrow, so I'd better get to it. Probably only going to go for about a half hour tonight. I've had a long, busy day. And I had a good workout earlier. I did some running and such. So I do want to get to bed a little earlier tonight. But here we go. Russian fairy tales. Resuming where we left off last week. This one's called The Cat, the Cock, and the Fox. Once there was an old man who had a cat and a cock. The old man went to work in the woods. The cat brought him some food, and the cock was left to watch the house. Just then a fox came to the house. "Cock-a-doodle-doo, little cock, golden crest. Look out the window, and I'll give you a pea." Thus sang the fox as he sat under the window. The cock opened the window and poked out his head to see who was singing. The fox snatched the cock in his claws and carried him off to eat him for dinner. And hello, Kathleen. Good to see you. Glad you commented. Hello, Flo. I see you have liked the video. Good to see you as well. I'm glad you're here. The cock cried out, "The fox is carrying me away! He is carrying the cock beyond the dark forests, into distant lands, into foreign countries, beyond thrice 9 lands, into the 30th kingdom and the thrice 10th empire. Cat Kotanevich, rescue me!" I'm guessing at the pronunciation there of that name. Cat Kotanevich, I think. Kotanovich. Maybe it's Kotanovich. Cotonaevich. Rescue me! In the field, the cat heard the cock's voice, rushed after him, overtook the fox, rescued the cock, and brought him home. "Now mind, Petya," said the cat to the cock. "Don't look out of the window again. Don't trust the fox. He'll eat you up, bones and..." Once again, the old man went to work in the woods, and the cat went to bring him food. Before leaving, the old man told the cock to watch the house and not to look out of the window. But the fox was wily. He wanted very badly to eat the cock. So he came to the hut. Sorry, that was crude of me. So he came to the hut and began to sing, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, little cock, golden crest, look out the window, and I'll give you a pea. I'll give you seeds too." Good, I'm glad you do. The cock walked about the room and did not answer. Once again the fox sang his song and cast a pea through the window. The cock ate the pea and said, "No, fox, you cannot fool me. You want to eat me, bones and all. Don't say such things, Petya. I have no idea of eating you. I just wanted you to pay me a visit, to see my house and take a walk around my estate." And he sang again, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, little cock, golden crest, I give you a pea, I'll give you seeds too." The cock looked out of the window, and at once the fox snatched him in his claws. The cock cried in a shrill voice, "The fox is carrying me off, carrying the cock beyond the dark woods, beyond the thick forests, along steep banks, and up high mountain tops. He wants to eat me, bones and all." In the field the cat heard him, rushed after him, rescued him, and brought him home. "Did I not tell you not to open the window, not to poke out your head, or the fox would eat you, bones and all? Listen now, heed my words. Tomorrow we shall be even farther away." And this, dear listeners/readers, is a warning and a story we've heard before, but it was with stupid brothers and such. Anyway, onward. Again, the old man went to work. And hello, Heather, I see you have joined us as well. Again, the old man went to work. Again, the cat went to bring him his food. The fox stole under the window, and he began to sing the same song. He sang it 3 times, but the cock remained silent. Fox said, "What's the matter? Has Petya become dumb? No, Fox, you cannot fool me. I won't look out of the window." The fox cast a pea, several wheat grains, in at the window, and again said, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, little cock, golden crest, butter head, look out the window. I have a big mansion. In every corner there's a measure of wheat. Eat your fill." And hello, Miss Kuntz. Good to see you here as well. Glad you're here, joining in and listening in. This is a Russian fairy tale called what was it? The cat. Yes, the cat, the cock, and the fox. Then he added, "And Petya, you should also see my collection of curios. Don't believe the cat. If I wanted to eat you, I would have done so long ago. The truth is, I like you. I want to show you the world, to develop your mind, to teach you how to live. Now, show yourself, Petya. I'll go behind a corner." And he concealed himself closer to the wall. The cock jumped on the bench and looked through the window from a distance. He wanted to see whether the fox was still there. Then he poked his head out of the window, and at once the fox snatched him and darted off. The cock sang the same tune as before, but the cat did not hear him. The fox carried the cock away and ate him up behind a fir grove, leaving only his tail feathers for the wind to scatter. The old man and the cat came home and discovered that the cock was gone. They were deeply distressed and said to each other, "This is what comes of not heeding warnings." And let me show you a picture that was drawn for the story here. Make sure. Yes, that is the end of the story. Here's the picture for the story. There it is. There's the cat, and there's the fox, and the cock inside, and all that jazz. There's the illustration. And there's a note in the book here that I wrote back when I was taking the class. Do. She basically died to help people. She is silent, though. Rusalka. Alice chases after Sasha the whole time, who doesn't notice her until she smokes a cigarette with his name on it. Magic. She comes into her own at the end, doesn't need Sasha anymore after she saved him, then dies. Alice stopped talking until she met the guy, which is against Botagaimer on feminism because it was her choice not to talk. 133. I'm wondering if that's a note for something that happens on page 133, or maybe it was 133 of my other Russian fairy tales class. Well, book, not class. Pushkin, Russian Shakespeare wrote. Wow. Yes, and we will find various notes I wrote in this book from time to time. And hello. Oh, yes. I've already said hello to everyone who's watching. All right, moving on, we've got another story coming up, and after this next Russian fairy tale, I will move on to the original story of mine. Yes, there are so many things I want to say and shouldn't. Shay, say whatever you like. I give you full permission. I will okay your comments if they come out crude. Yes, there are a few things that I was giggling at during that story. For instance, where the cat said that the fox wanted to eat the cock. Um, Sorry, crude of me to giggle at that part and to even re-mention it, but regardless, it was old language. It's so fun. Anyway, back to the story. Boldak Borisevich. For goodness, I don't know how to say that name. I think I'm giving it my best go there, but Boldak, B-A-L-D-K, so B-A-L-D-A-K, Borisevich, B-O-R-I-C-I, Borisivich. Quite the name there. And hello, Gene. Glad you have jumped in and joined. All right, time for this next story. After that, I will move on to an original, then perhaps one or two more Russians. Oh my, this one is a long one. So this one, and then my original, and call it a night. We'll see. Anyway, here's Boldak. In the famous city of Kiev, in Tsar Vladimir's castle, dukes and boyars and mighty champions assembled for a solemn feast. Tsar Vladimir spoke these words: "Hail, boys, gather together, sit down around one table. One table, everyone, one table." And more moonshine. Fiery, sweet, and delicious. Do. All right, yes, okay. One table. They gathered around one table, ate and drank half their fill, and Tsar Vladimir spoke. Who would render me a great service? Who would go on thrice 9 lands to the thrice 10th kingdom, to the to the Turkish Sultan, and take his steed with the golden mane, kill his talking cat, and spit in the Sultan's own face? The brave knight Ilya Muromets, son of Ivan, offered to go. Tsar Vladimir had a beloved daughter, and she said these words: "My father, Tsar Vladimir, although Ilya Muromets is boasting loud, he will not perform this task. Disband the solemn feast, father. Go to all the taverns in your town and seek the young Boldak, son of Boris, 7 years of age." Wow, 7 years. And the Tsar heeded his daughter and went to seek the young Boldak Borisevich, and found him in a tavern sleeping under a bench. The Tsar pushed him with the toe of his boot, and Boldak jumped up from his sleep as though nothing had happened. "Hail, Tsar Vladimir, what do you want of me?" Whereupon Tsar Vladimir answered, "I invite you to the solemn feast. I am not worthy to go to the solemn feast. I get drunk in taverns and wallow on the floor." Tsar Vladimir spoke these words to him: "If I invite you to the feast, you must come. We have great need of you." And young Boldak Borisevich bade the Tsar return from the tavern to the royal castle, and said that he himself would soon follow. Boldak remained alone in the tavern, drank enough green wine to chase away his drunkenness, and went without delay to the castle of Tsar Vladimir. He crossed himself as he was prescribed, bowed low as he had been taught, bowed to all sides, and in addition to the Tsar himself. "Hail, Tsar Vladimir," he said. "Why have you bidden me to this feast?" Tsar Vladimir answered him: "Young Boldak Borisevich, render me your great service." Go beyond thrice 9 lands to the thrice 10th kingdom, to the Turkish Sultan. Take from him his steed with the golden mane, kill his talking cat, and spit in the Sultan's own face. Take as many troops as you need, take as much gold as you please. And young Boldak Borisevich answered, As you have commanded, Tsar Vladimir, for my troops give me only 29 youths. I myself will be the 30th. Speedily a tale is spun, with less speed a deed is done. Young Boldak Borisevich set out on his way to the Turkish Sultan and managed to arrive just at midnight. He entered the Sultan's courtyard, took the steed with the golden mane from the stables, seized the talking cat and tore him in twain, and spat in the Sultan's own face. And the Sultan, who had a favorite garden which extended for 3 versts, all kinds of tree were planted in this garden, all kinds of flower grew in it. And the Sultan also had that garden, yes. Young Boldak Borisevich ordered his companions, the 29 youths, to cut down the entire garden. He himself fetched a fire, and with this fire razed everything to the ground. Where the garden had been pitched 30 thin white canvas tents. Where the garden had been, he pitched 13 thin white canvas tents. Early in the morning, the Turkish Sultan awoke. His first glance went to his favorite garden, and as soon as he looked, he saw that all the trees had been cut down and burned, and that 30 white canvas tents stood where the garden had been. Who has thus trespassed upon my garden? He thought. An emperor, a king, or a very mighty champion? The Sultan cried in a loud voice for his favorite Turkish Pasha, called him before him, and spoke these words: My kingdom fares ill. I have been expecting a Russian villain, young Boldak Borisevich, and now I am invaded. By whom? An emperor, a king, or a mighty champion? I do not know, nor do I know how to find out. As he took counsel, the eldest daughter of the Turkish Sultan appeared and said to her father, What are you holding counsel about? And what is it that you cannot find out? O father, Turkish Sultan, give me your blessing in order that 29 maidens, the most beautiful in the whole kingdom, be chosen. I myself will be the 30th. We will go to spend the night in those canvas tents and will find the culprit for you. And her father consented, and she went to the tents with 29 maidens, the most beautiful in the kingdom. Young Boldak Borisevich came out to meet her, took her by the white hands, and cried in his loud voice, Hey, you youths, my companions, take the lovely maidens by their hands, lead them to your tents, and do what you know how to do. They slept together one night. Next morning, the Sultan's eldest daughter returned to him and said, My beloved father, order the 30 youths from the white canvas tents to come to your house. I myself will point out the culprit. Straightway, the Turkish Sultan sent his favorite Pasha to the tents to summon to him young Boldak Borisevich with all his companions. The 30 youths came out of their tents. They were all of one face, like blood brothers, hair for hair, voice for voice, and they spoke these words to the envoy: Go back, we shall soon follow you. Young Boldak Borisevich asked his boys, Is there not some sign on me? Examine me carefully. And they found that his legs were smeared with gold up to the knees, and his arms with silver up to the elbows. She is cunning, but I understood her stratagem, said Boldak, and put the same signs on all his companions. Their legs were now gold up to the knees, and their arms silver up to the elbows. He ordered them to put on gloves. Let no one, he commanded, take them off without my order when we arrive in the Sultan's house. Now they arrived at the Sultan's house. The eldest daughter came forth and pointed out young Boldak Borisevich as the culprit. Boldak said to her, How do you recognize me? By what proof? The Sultan's eldest daughter answered, Remove your boots from your legs and your gloves from your hands. There I have put my signs. Your legs are gold up to the knees, your arms silver up to the elbows. Have we not many such youths? Said young Boldak Borisevich, and gave an order to his boys. Look, let everyone remove a boot from one leg and a glove from one hand. The same signs that he had were found on everyone. The chambers were illuminated by the brightness of the silver and gold, and the Turkish Sultan was merciful and kind and did not believe his daughter. You lie, he said. I need one culprit, and now, according to you, there are 30 culprits. And the Turkish Sultan commanded, Get out, all of you. Oh my, how cunning, Boldak. And hello, Daniel. I'm glad to see you have joined Crystal as well. Glad to see you guys here for the story time. Another sip in honor of you. and we chase it. Thereupon he became even more distressed and aggrieved, and again began to think and to take counsel with his favourite pasha about how to discover the culprit. To their meeting came the Sultan's second and said to him, "Father, give me 39 maidens. I myself will be the 30th. I will go to the white caravan tents, spend one night there, and discover the culprit for you." No sooner said than done. Next morning, the Turkish Sultan sent his favorite pasha to summon young Boldak Borisevich and his companions to his palace. As before, Boldak answered, "Go back, we shall soon follow you." As soon as the pasha left, young Boldak cried in his loud voice, "Come out of the tents, all of you, my companions, you 29 youths, see whether there is a sign on me." Straightway they all came out of the tents and found golden hair on his head. Young Boldak Borisevich said, "She is cunning, but I understand her stratagem." He put golden hair on all the youths, just as had been done to him, and ordered them to cover their rash heads with caps. "Let no one," he warned, "remove them without my order when we are in the Turkish Sultan's palace." As soon as young Boldak Borisevich and his companions entered the Sultan's palace, the Sultan said to his second daughter, "My beloved daughter, show me the culprit." And she knew with certainty who it was, because she had spent the night with him. She to young Boldak and said, "Here is the culprit." To this young Boldak Borisevich answered, "How do you recognize me? By what proof? Remove your cap from your head. There I have made a sign, golden hair." "Have we not many such youths?" answered Boldak, and ordered all his boys to throw down their caps. Their golden hair appeared, and the chambers were illuminated. Just illumined, sorry, not illuminated, just illumined. The Sultan grew angry at his second daughter. "You do not speak the truth. I need one culprit, and according to you, all of them are culprits." And he commanded her, "Leave my palace." Now the Turkish Sultan was even more distressed and aggrieved than before. But his third and youngest daughter came forth, chided her two elder sisters, and begged her father, "My beloved father, order me to choose 29 maidens, the loveliest in the kingdom. I myself will be the 30th, and will find the culprit." I wonder what will happen this time. The Sultan acceded to the request of his youngest daughter, and she went to the same tents to spend the night. Boldak Borisevich jumped out of his tent, took the Sultan's daughter by her white hands, and led her to his tent. And to his youths he cried in a loud voice, "My boys, take the lovely maidens by the hands, and lead them to your tent." And spent the night there, and next morning went home. The Sultan sent his favorite pasha for the good youths. The envoy went to the white canvas tents and summoned young Boldak and his companions to the Turkish Sultan himself. "Go back, we shall soon follow you," was the reply. Young Boldak Borisevich spoke to his companions. "Well, boys, see whether there is a sign on me." They looked and searched all over him, but could find any sign. "Ah, brothers, it looks as if I am lost now," said Boldak, and asked them to tender him a last service. He gave them each a sharp saber, and told them to conceal the weapons under their clothes. And when I give the signal, he bade them cut in all directions. As soon as they came before the Turkish Sultan, the youngest daughter came forth and pointed at young Boldak. "Here is the culprit," she said. "He has a golden star under his heel." And a golden star was found under his heel, just as she had said. The Sultan sent all of the 29 youths out of his palace, and held only the culprit, young Boldak, son of Boris, and cried to him in a loud, shrill voice, "I will take you, put you on the palm of one hand, and clap with the other. There will be nothing left of you but a moist spot." Young Boldak answered him, "O Turkish Sultan, emperors, kings, and mighty heroes fear you, but I, a 7-year-old boy, who do not fear you. I took your steed and with the golden mane. I killed your talking cat, spat in your own face, and cut and burned your favorite garden." The Sultan fell into an even greater rage than before, and ordered his servants to set up in the square 2 oaken pillars with his maple wood crossbeam, and to prepare 3 nooses on the crossbeam, the first of silk, the second of hemp, and the third of bast. And he proclaimed through the whole town that all the people, big and little, should assemble on the square to see how the Russian culprit would be put to death. The Turkish Sultan himself got into a light carriage, and took with him his favorite pasha and his youngest daughter, who had discovered the culprit. Young Baldock was tied and chained and placed at their feet, and all of them dove straight to the oaken pillars. On the way, young Baldock spoke thus: "I will propose riddles. I will propose riddles, and you, Turkish Sultan, will guess them. Shall guess them. A horse runs fast. Why does his tail drag? What a blockhead are you!" answered the Sultan. "Every horse in horn is horn. Ugh. Every horse is born with a tail." They drove a little farther, and Baldock spoke again. "The front wheels are moved by the horse, but why do the back wheels roll? What a blockhead! In in sight of death, he has lost his mind and is all confused. The master made the four wheels, so four wheels roll." They arrived at the square and got out of the carriage. They took the culprit, untied him, and unchained him, and led him to the gallows. Young Baldock Borisovich made the sign of the cross, bowed low to all sides, and spoke in a loud voice: "O Turkish Sultan, do not give the order that I be hanged. Order me to speak. Speak! What is it?" "I have a gift from my father, a blessing from my mother, a playing horn. Order me to play it for the last time." Young Baldock played a gay tune, and everyone's mind was clouded. People became absorbed in looking at him and listening to him, and forgot why they had come. The Sultan's tongue could not move. The 29 youths heard the horn, came from the back rows, and began to cut down all the people with their sharp sabres. Young Baldock, his companions, had cut down all the crowd and reached the gallows. Then young Baldock, son of Boris, ceased playing and said these last words to the Turkish Sultan: "Aren't you the blockhead rather than I? Turn around, look behind you. My geese are pecking your wheat." The Turkish Sultan turned around and saw that all his people were slain and lying on the ground, and that at the gallows only 3 were left: himself, his daughter, and his favorite pasha. Young Baldock ordered his to hang the Sultan with the silken noose, his favorite pasha with the hempen noose, and his youngest daughter with the noose of bast. With this they had finished their enterprise and departed for the famous city of Kiev to return to Tsar Vladimir himself. That was quite a tale, wasn't it? And there is an image, an illustration. Allow me to show it to you. There it is. Yes, there we are. There's the image, the illustration, just for you. At this point, we will take a quick pause and we will move on to an original tale, followed by perhaps one more Russian fairy tale. If you all are enjoying this right now, then please leave a comment saying so. Please like the video. And also, don't forget to invite others. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Join my Facebook group Storytime. Anyway, with that out of the way, allow me to read that original story for you. If you remember last week, I read one called A Cool Spot in Hell. As part of the class, I rewrote that story twice, and the first rewrite is called Sympathy for the Devil. Now, the original story is about a man who died, went to hell, and happened to get stuck in a place where a little piece of heaven was pouring down upon him. And that was from the perspective of the man. This first rewrite is from the perspective of the devil. So, and hello, cat. These read solids are lovely treats each time I get. Oh, well, thank you very much. That means quite a lot to me. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Anyway, let's go ahead and start with the new story. This one's called, well, it's not a new story, granted. I wrote it back in 2010. Good Lord. I wrote this 10 years ago. Hard to believe. Wow, time really flies. Anyway, here we go. Here's Sympathy for the Devil. I love this story. Charming. I think the first was my favorite, but this one was pretty good too, if I remember right. Sympathy for the Devil by Brett Picorni. It had been several eternities since the devil had said his first words to a truly hellish soul. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am a being of wealth and taste. That soul was the first and only to find all 97 secrets of hell and be reincarnated. However, because hell is hell, it took hellishly long for him to actually be reincarnated. This experience did work in his favor, though, for he just so happened to be reincarnated as Keith Richards. Since then, the devil had made a rule book and a set of loopholes to keep such things from happening. And thank you very much, Miss Kunz. I do appreciate the compliment. Yes. keep such things from happening. Things had been going well for several eternities. There was desolation, starvation, apathy, the works. Then one day a man appeared in hell. He was a smart man and a good man, but he was not a spiritual man. In life, this man was simply the man. He made no attempts to worry about an afterlife, for he had not reached an age in which he thought it appropriate to start wondering about what was next. He simply caught the train to work when his co-workers loved him. Where his co-workers loved him. After his shift, he caught another train back into town, where he spent the next several hours at the local pub. After that, if he were lucky, he would be spending the night at an unfamiliar home. Either way, he was content. Life was good until, like many before and after him, his train came early one day. "So, how many do we have today?" asked the devil. The demon replied, "More than yesterday, sir." "Good, good. Get yourself another cup of coffee." Coffee was the only available drink in hell. Yes, I got a lot of glee out of writing that. Anyway, moving on. Coffee was the only available drink in hell. "Of course, sir," said the demon. The devil was about to wander off toward the lake of fire to see how many applicants were waiting for his arrival when the man began to circle the demon. The devil always loved it when punishments were made worse due to annoyance. However unusual it may have been that the man was circling the demon, the devil decided to move on. After all, he was on a schedule. Upon entering hell, the man was greeted by a tiny winged imp. "Welcome to hell. To your right is the information desk. Please make an appointment to check in with the clerk before approaching the information desk. Have a nice day." Rather than going through that entire process, the man simply approached the clerk, a rather large demon. The demon's skin changed color from red to black to blue in splotches before becoming one solid color and then changing again. He had no horns, but he did have a tail, and he did wear spectacles that he could read the scheduled list of appointments on his iPad. "Would you please stop circling me? This damn thing won't stop freezing. I don't need another entity holding my attention." "I can't stop moving," yelled the man. "If I stop moving, I can never move again." "In that case, find yourself something to do. How about you tour the levels of hell?" suggested the demon. "How many levels are there?" the man yelled. "Just the one," said the demon, "but it's rather vast. Lou, not even Lou himself has been able to find an end. And yes, Satan wants his employees to call him Lou, short for Lucifer. It's some buddy thing. He doesn't seem to understand that a boss can't be friends with the employee. How do you humans get that across to your bosses?" "We don't," yelled the man. "Of course you don't. Well, go have some fun exploring. If you get bored, you can always search for the 97 secrets of hell. It would have been 100, but some jackass found them all before Lou managed to think up 3 more. Nobody's been able to do it since." A man holding a paper airplane approached the demon with a hopeful look in his eyes. "For the last time, stop showing me your secrets. If everyone knows about them, they can't be secrets. Now can they? Moron." My cousin, you may have heard of him. His name is Death. Anyway, my cousin was on his way to collect Mr. Richards last week, but just like every other attempt in the past lifetime, he was unsuccessful. I rather admire the walking corpse." The devil had reached his destination a little earlier than expected, so he decided to work in a little small talk before he began looking at permit applications. "Anyway, Jesus, I have to go. Souls are waiting to be admitted." The devil hung up his phone before turning his attention to the first applicant. "So, what do we have here? You want to go into the lake of fire, but you don't remember your name. Why is that last bit important?" "Ah, screw it. Go on in." The devil had worked through about 13 applications when he heard his favorite sound, a scream. Something, however, was different about the scream. For some reason, Lou had to see the source face to face, assuming there was still a face from which he could scream, from which the scream emanated. "What's all the commotion?" he asked when he got to the man. The man, not seeming sad or in pain, asked the devil why his voice seemed so soft and quiet as opposed to everyone else in hell. "Because I own hell," said the devil. "I own it, so I make the rules." "What do you mean you own it?" yelled the man. "I've been working my lack of an ass off to make hell a nice place ever since I bought it. I figured, what the here? Why not make misery into bliss? How cool would it be if everyone could hear everyone and I could still be as quiet as I want, right?" "Right." "You bought hell?" the man yelled. "Funny story," said the devil. I tried to convince God that he should give me heaven on the premise that I had become more powerful than he. Well, he laughed at me outright. I then made a point that I would be able to run it just fine. In fact, I told him that I would purchase hell so that I might show him my clear superior ability to run an eternal plane. He said that I could have hell free of charge. In my coming down here, he sealed my way back. Bastard tricked me. I've been stealing souls ever since. It's not hard when they lack purity. You must be really lonely, the man yelled. No, not really, said the devil. At first I thought I might be able to purchase my way back into heaven, but he decided that this fate was better not only for me, but for those whose ways were not of the righteous. But let's not get bogged down in my story. What's your deal? You seem so happy here. I think I found a cool spot, yelled the man. That's impossible, said the devil. The switch broke years ago, and no one knows anymore how to fix astral AC. I'd ask God, but you know. And as a footnote to that, there is a footnote. I need to find it. Oh yes, I can't find the footnote because I didn't open the actual file. I'm watching it. I'm looking at a preview to read this to you. But anyway, in the footnote it says, if I remember correctly, um, contrary to popular belief, there is a cold season in hell. A bitter cold season in hell, thus debunking the popular phrase, "It will be a cold day in hell." Continuing with the story. Well, I don't know anything about AC in the afterlife, but I do know that I feel pretty good right now, yelled the man. Obviously, they don't teach you about humor on Earth, said the devil. Either that or my jokes really have gotten old. The man turned his eyes to what one might consider a sky. The only difference between this sky and the Earth's was that it looked a little bit like a beehive, the way it blurred with motion. What is that? The man yelled. Here in hell, time moves much slower. A lifetime here is a mere second on Earth. Alternatively, a lifetime on Earth is a fraction of a second in heaven. That is why God is the only entity we can see in heaven, explained the devil. Listen, if you are feeling happy, the only explanation can be that there is a rift, and if that is the case, I am going to need you to move. Here, have a ticket to the lake of fire. Either that or be destroyed. Unfortunately, said the man, my punishment states that I cannot move from this spot. The devil began to get frustrated. You're telling me that there happens to be one happy spot in hell, and it's found by some fool on his first day? I have experienced this hell for all eternity, with the exception of a few lifetimes, and you get to experience a minor heat wave before winter. Fine. We'll just see what God has to say about this. The devil then turned to God as he so often does when he's desperate. Father, first of all, I would like to thank you for creating such a perfect being as myself, but what I really need is for you to right this wrong in subspace. Correct your mistake so that this man may suffer alongside his fellow sinners. God whispered to Lucifer, I am infallible. Had I created a mistake, it would not be a mistake. I can therefore not right what you consider a wrong, my son, for if my way is undone, so is the whole of existence. I am sorry. The devil was suddenly angry. You do not deserve the light of heaven shining upon you. He attempted to push and shove the man from his spot, but the man was like stone. The devil even punched the man, and as he did so, the devil's arm crumbled to dust before growing back in the blink of an eye. Please, said the devil, I have made no loophole for such a situation, and it would seem my own rules have betrayed me. Please, just tell me what it is like. Tell me that you will move for me. Tell me that I can feel the light of heaven once more. As tears flowed from the devil's eyes, the man held his arms wide. Allow me to embrace you, and you will feel temporary satisfaction, he said. The devil embraced the man, and a smile appeared on his face. As he partook of the second-hand heaven, the devil was struck with an idea. What if I bring you the 97 secrets of hell? If I bring them all to you, said the devil, you can be reincarnated, and I can have this spot. The man thought for a moment before replying. You know about the 97 secrets, and you want to tell me about them. Not just tell you about them, give them to you, said the devil. Tell me this then, said the man. If you know about them and I know about them, how can they be secrets at all? The devil's smile faded, and he stepped away from the man. He decided that he must get back to work because this was futile. After all, there is no reasoning with heaven. Besides, he had a schedule. As the eternity passed, the devil thought aloud. So, how many today? Much more than yesterday, sir. Much more, said the demon. And that is the end of Sympathy for the Devil. I hope you all enjoyed it. I know I did, at least. Well, yes, I did. I enjoyed it. It was a good bit of fun. Um, And I'm looking forward to having more stories for you tomorrow night as well. For now, allow us to get back to what's going on here. What is this? Disappeared. Oh no. Oh, I accidentally deleted a. Never mind. Okay, that's all right. In the meantime, let me read one more Russian fairy tale for you. Okay, yes, one more fairy tale for you before saying goodnight. This last fairy tale is called No Not. And oh, it's another long one. Okay, you know what? This is a really long one. Goodness gracious. It's a very long one. So, you know what? I am actually going to leave this one for next time. And thank you, Kathleen. I'm glad you liked the story. I really am. So this next Russian fairy tale called No Not. I'm going to leave it for next time because I really do want to get to bed soon, and I have a little ritual I need to do before bed. It's a little bit of minor exercise and a little bit of personal meditation sort of stuff. But anyway, and I have to finish this drink. So alas, I will bid you all a good night for now, and we will pick up tomorrow with that long, long Russian fairy tale called No Not. I'm hoping it's a good one. Anyway, I'll read to you another story as well as that tomorrow. Anyway, have a great night, everyone. I bid you adieu. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Facebook group. And you are most certainly welcome, Heather. And Shay, I'm glad you liked the comment, what the here. My kind of place. Oh, your kind of place. Is that because of the coffee? Anyway, have a great night, everyone. I'll see you next time.